I don't know if you saw that, but as the drill bit went in, because, oh, that's hot. Whew. Hi, I'm Paul Brodie, back in the shop. There's a man behind the camera. His name is Mitch. We all thank him. And I've been pretty busy lately. Yesterday I made this. I was in hospital last year for 61 days, and I had a lot of time to think. And one of the things I decided was that I'm going to buy a kayak. So I have the kayak, and then you need a rack. So our video today is about the rack. And then you also need a cart, a kayak cart. So I made this yesterday. This is what goes on the end of the kayak so that I can lift up the other end and I can move the kayak around, because at this stage of my rehabilitation, I cannot lift a 50-pound kayak all by myself in the air. So this is going to help me. I've had these now. I was thinking about it. I've had these. I was into golf for a while. I've been into a few things in my life. And I was going to build a golf cart, and it turns out a golf cart is very, very complex, how the wheels open up and folds and all that. So I had the wheels, had them about 35 years, so I decided that on my kayak cart, I'm going to use the wheels that I might have used on a golf cart. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, like that. It's got a lock in there. There we go. So it's a little different. If you buy one in the store, it's adjustable because it fits whatever, a variety of boats, canoes, kayaks, whatever. But this is just for one kayak. So this is fixed. There's a strap that holds it on. So later on, we're going to see how this works. This hasn't been used yet. It just got finished this morning. So I'm going to show you the kayak rack in a while, but there's going to be a roller. This is UHMW, I'm told. It's a kind of a plastic. It machines quite well. I just faced the ends off. And there's going to be a groove or a V cut in there. This is the shape of the roller. It's 17 degrees. And that's going to hold one end of the kayak, and then I hold the other end and I push it up, and it rolls this, and it stays in the middle, more or less, because of the V. And then it's going to attach on the back of the rack. And these are the pieces that I scrounged up in my shop yesterday. This is what's going to get used. This is the shaft that goes in the middle. This is 4130. It's a chromoly tube, and it's going to have alloy inserts on each end, and then there's going to be a piece here. It's going to just anchor on one side, and then it's going to clamp onto the rail at the back of the rack. And there's a couple screws, 6mm Allen screws, and so I can move it up and down, all depending on what's the best angle for the roller. If I just weld something on, if I don't like the angle, I can't change it. So I decided to do this. It's going to be one-sided. So that's coming up. Now I'm going to show you the rack. It's pretty big, but it is what it is. But first, we have new merch. We have a new a supplier, and so these are quite nice, and if you check it out, be much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in. Here is my kayak rack. As I was lying in the hospital bed last year, I was, my mind was working. It just doesn't stop much, and I had this idea that I would anchor it off the bumper, off the trailer hitch. So this piece here, it goes into the trailer hitch, and then this hinges. I had in my mind that what I would do is I would be able to hinge the rack up, and then it would lock into place. This would be at about a 45-degree angle, and then I could just load the kayak. But then I realized once this got made and this hinged up, this was way in the sky, so that was not going to work. So Anyway, it is what it is, and I think it's going to work fine. This is where the roller is going to go, right there. And so I don't know if it needs to be up or down. That's why it is adjustable. And then these pieces here, I bought some foam pads, and the foam pads have a shape which goes over a rack. So obviously I don't have a rack from a factory somewhere, so I made these. This is 16th inch mild steel. Everything's mild steel here, there's no chromoly. And it was bent, and then this is a 3/8 of an inch rod, and I TIG-tacked it in place and welded it on. This is what holds the kayak, because it goes over the foam pads, and there's a strap, so this is easy access. So that's basically my rack, and we're going to get started on the roller, because that's the fabricating part of this video. And then once the roller's on, we'll take this outside, we'll mount it on my van, and we'll see if I can load up the kayak, because I have to be able to do it on my own. I can't always phone up a friend, so we'll see how it works. I don't know. Sometimes I make things and it doesn't work and I have to redesign, so cross fingers. I've marked the halfway point. So I've turned my compound to 17 degrees, and I want to leave about maybe 3/4 of an inch on each end. I have to hold it in the chuck. If I put the taper all the way to the end, I don't have a way to hold the second side, so we're going to leave some there. I've got a radius tool bit, and it machines pretty easy. There's just a lot of plastic that comes off. I made a longer drill bit years ago. You see this? It's TIG welded. This is just a 3/8 shaft. It's handy when you want to extend a drill. So let's see how this works. So that's what it looks like. And it's going to spin on the shaft. So the next thing we're going to do is to cut this shaft down, face the ends, and it's going to be a little bit longer on each side, a little bit of play. So 15, 20 thou, something like that. What's next is to make inserts for each end, because I need a washer on the one end and the other end has to be held on. So there you go. It's a little bit raised up. See that? Just a little bit. You notice I'm using precision tools today. I've got my got my flat surface here. I got my straight edge. It's a kayak. It's not a motorcycle or a bicycle. It's a kayak. Okay, we're good. I'll grab some aluminum. We'll measure this ID, And we're going to go for size on size. That's a press fit. When you've got aluminum into steel. Size on size. Nice finish. Okay, we're right on size there. I'm going to chamfer it, I'm going to drill the hole, and then we'll cut it off, face the other end, and thread it. Okay, this is the moment of truth where we check for the press fit. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on there, and then we'll just press it in. See what happens. Oh. That was a good fit. So that's in there. So now we have to make a washer. That's what holds on the pulley. So we're going to make the washer about, on the other end, we're going to make it out of this, and it's going to get pressed in as well. This is 1.5 inches, so we're going to use this, and we're going to make an 1.5 inch washer out of 1/4 inch 60-61. So let's drill the hole, we'll mark it out, go to the bandsaw, and then I'm going to hold it onto this with an Allen screw, and I'm going to face this to 1.5 inches. That's my plan. Okay, I'm using my Excelsior lampshade here. Thank you, Mike Frieda. There we go. Oh, it seems like the insert inside is holding. Okay, now we'll just machine that down to 1.5 thereabouts, and we got our washer. And that is our big fat washer. So that's going to hold the roller on to the, call this an axle. That's what it's going to look like. So we're going to grab the other piece of aluminum, 60-61, and we're going to machine basically the same sort of thing, except it's going to have a 8mm thread in it, 8 by 1.25, and that's what's going to hold it onto the plate. And the plate is going to clamp around the rack tube. So that's what's next. Rapid tap. You can see the spiral coming out through the chuck. So that's how it looks. This is the axle that holds the roller, and then, there we go. I can't read all these little lines here. They're like 64ths of an inch. It's kind of ridiculous a bit, but I can put a mark on there, and that works for me. So that's the little hole. I'll make a circle here. This is the end. So I'm going a 1/4 inch past the hacksaw line, so that when I start the tap, it'll be easier to start it in line. That's my thinking. Okay, so I ran a 6 mil drill down there, so that's what got the tap started squarely, easily. I can go straight down with the tap because it's a spiral point tap, and the flutes are forcing all the chips down to the bottom. So that makes it faster for tapping. A little bit of anti-seize. That's a nice fit. Okay, so this is installation of the roller, and we'll get it in the middle like that, and then we'll come up. Something like that, I think. Okay, so that's pretty strong. I guess you want to see how the kayak mounts now, how the kayak goes on here. So we'll step outside, move the van, get the kayak on the kayak cart, bring it round, hang in there. go. There we go. Don't go too far away. See, now the roller is better. Okay, so I can do it myself. And that is our video for today. We hope you've enjoyed it. It was a little sketchy putting that kayak on one-handed. Anyway, we like coffee. Mitch and I, we like coffee. If you buy us coffees, that would be much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, please do. That helps us a lot. And we'll see you next time. Take care.